Hello my lovelies and welcome to the channel. This is one of our videos in our series for absolute beginners in crochet, so let's skip the long intro and jump straight into it. So the first thing we're going to go through is some crochet basics. So here I've got double knit or DK weight yarn and I've got a 4mm crochet hook. This is my preferred size to use on DK weight. So I'm going to show you a Slipknot and I'm going to show you a magic circle. I've not known any patterns to not start with either of these two. So I'm going to take it nice and slow. So this is how I do a slip knot. Some people will do them in a different way, but this is just the way that I do it. So like I said, we're going to take it nice and slow. So if you get your yarn and grab it there, you're going to wrap it around your fingers, okay? And then you're going to cross over on the underside of your fingers and pull it round there. So you've got a cross on the palm side of your fingers, 2 loops on the top side. Take your hook, you're going to go under the first loop, over the second loop, and you're going to hook the yarn on with the hook here at the end, and just pull it straight under like that. And then as you do, pull that first loop off your fingers, and then you're just going to pull it tight. Then you can use this bit of the yarn that's attached to the skein. Just pull it, not too tight at the end. So there you go. And then from here, what you'd be doing is you're doing chains. So I'll show you again. If you want to undo the knot, take it off your hook, grab the short bit of the yarn and just pull it, and it'll come straight out. So go through that one more time. Take your yarn and then hold it down with your thumb, wrap it around your fingers, cross it over palm side. So then you've got 2 loops on the back of your hand. Take your hook, under the first loop, over the second loop, and then pull it through once you've hooked it on. There you go. And then use the shorter piece to tighten the knot. Use the longer piece that's attached to the skein of yarn to pull it tight, but not too tight. And then there you go. Simple slip knot. Like I said, a lot of patterns start with this. The other way patterns start is something called a magic circle. Now, the magic circle can be quite hard to get used to, but once you've got it in your head, it's quite easy to do. I do my magic circles very, very similar to the way I do my slip knots. So, you grab your yarn, wrap it around your fingers like you do for a slip knot. Now, I'm doing it around 3 fingers because I want the hole slightly bigger, which I'll show you why in a moment. So exactly the same as I've done for a slip knot, cross it over on this underside. Again, same as the slip knot, put your hook under the first loop, over the second, pull it through just like you would a slip knot, but when you get to here, just twist your hook towards yourself and bring it back over the top of that first loop to hook a bit of this yarn here and pull it through like that. So what I've done there is I've done a chain. What that chain does is it will anchor this now, so I can actually let go. If I didn't use that chain, this would be all loose, and if I let go, then I've lost the magic circle. The idea of the magic circle is, so when you're doing a pattern and you want to start it as a circle, so like for example a granny square blanket, you can either start it with the chain or you can start it with a magic circle. And when you're working into the magic circle, you will do, so for example, I haven't been through the stitches yet, but for example a double crochet, I would work into the circle like that. So rather than with a chain when you'd work into each stitch, this you're literally just working into this gap here. And then once you've finished whatever you're doing in the circle, all you do is you pull the shorter yarn, and it tightens that circle for you. So we'll just go through that one more time for you. So you can take your yarn, and just like I did with the slip knot, we're going to wrap it around my fingers. So you've got a cross on this side, 2 loops on the back of your palm. This time though, we're going to put the hook under the first loop, over the second loop, pull it through, but don't pull the first loop off your fingers yet. When you get to this stage, just twist your hook so it's facing up, so it twists that yarn on there, it just anchors it a little bit. And then take your hook and go under this piece of yarn here. This is the yarn that is currently attached to your skein of yarn. Hook that on, and then you want to carefully pull it through here. Now I'm going to let go of these 2 loops here, just to make it a little bit easier for me. I'm just going to pinch it there, and then pull it over, because sometimes it just needs a little help going through. I can usually do this a lot easier, but because I'm doing it so slow, I can't quite get it to loop through as easily as I normally would. And there we go. And then that's the magic circle. And then, like I said, this one tightens the circle, which if you do put it that way, you can loosen it as well. So if you've made your circle too small, you can loosen it slightly. So I'm just going to show you it one more time, the magic circle. So take your yarn, wrap it around your fingers. Just like with the Slipknot, we've got a cross on the palm side, and on the back of my hand we've got 2 loops. Put your hook under the first loop, over the second. Pull that through, but before you go any further than this, twist your hook just to secure it here a little bit. Just stops it coming off the hook. Put your hook under this piece of yarn. This is the yarn that's attached to the skein. And then you pull that loop through, there we go, through that loop you just had on your hook, and that is a chain 1 you've just done. And what that does is it just anchors it so then it can't come undone, because now I can take the hook out. As you can see, obviously if I pull this it will pull the loop out, but there you go. So that is the magic circle. Like I said, you pull this to tighten it. You can also pull the other side of that to make it a larger circle. And then so you work into this, and then when you're ready, you just tighten the hole in the center. And then if you want to undo it, untwist that piece of yarn from the middle of the circle, and then pull, and it comes undone. So the next thing I'm going to show you is a chain. Now, the bonus with a chain is if you can't get your head around the magic circle, you can use a chain of 4, which I will also show you. So, to do a chain, now nearly every single crochet pattern will have chains in it, so this is something that's really good to know. So start with your slip knot. So once again, wrap the yarn round. You got your cross, turn your fingers over, hook under the first loop, over the second loop, pull it through, pull it off your fingers. There we go. Pull it tight, and you've got a slip knot. So to do a chain, there we go. What we need to do is wrap the yarn around your hook. And then if you just hold the knot here at the bottom, it might make it a bit easier for you. You're going to pull this loop here through this loop that's on the hook. So what will happen is this will become the loop on the hook, and this one will become the first chain. So you do it slowly, and it goes through. There you go. So that there is the first chain. So you do it again. So now, like I said, that's the loop we just put around the hook. Put the yarn around the hook again, and then pull the hook through. That loop hooks into the hook. Pull it through the loop that's on the hook, and there's 2 chains. That's 1 chain, 2 chain. Look again. So yarn round, pull it through there, yarn round, pull it through there. So that there is a chain of 4. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. Now tension is quite important when it comes to crochet. So if you don't have a very good tension, so like for example, you'll see people where they wrap it around like all of their fingers. The way I hold my yarn, it's the most comfortable for me, so just hold it however you feel comfortable, is I literally hook it over my middle finger, because I've tried to wrap it around my little finger as well, and it falls off. I can't stand it. But this is the way I hold my yarn, and for me this is my perfect tension. If you don't have any good tension, so like if this is going to be hard for me to not have any tension, I'll show you. The difference is, whoops, you see it's already come off the hook for me. If you don't have the tension there, can you see in comparison those ones are 4 neat chains, these ones are starting to become very loose. And it can really change your pattern if you don't have the right tension. Don't worry early on if you can't get your head around the tension. If you keep practicing, it will come. So just try and practice and keep, because you don't want your tension too tight either. You just want it to be just right, and just right for you is what's important. So now I've done 4 chains. So like I said, 1, 2, 3, and there's one here. Now, if you don't want to use a magic circle, this is what you can use instead. So you've got 4 chains on the hook. You want to put your hook through. You want to put your hook through the first one that you did. So if you ever get a pattern, it says skip the first chain and insert the hook into the chain, you would be skipping this one here and putting it into this one. Or you'd be skipping, say, skip the first 2, so you skip that one, you put it into that one. Well, this is the 3rd chain from the hook, but it's the first one that we did. So you take your hook and you put it in here, put the yarn around your hook, and now this is called a slip knot. Take your hook and pull it through that chain, but then pull it straight through the chain on the hook. So the yarn you've just put over your hook is now the loop on here. And then if you have a look here, you can see there's a little hole in the center. That would be what you'd work your stitches into. So as I showed you with the magic circle, when you work your stitches in, you'll just then do your stitches into here. Whoops. But what you won't do is you will not be tightening it at the end. So you might find there's a little hole, but it's not really that noticeable. And if it's easier for you to not do the magic circle and to do this and we'll just work into that circle, then you do that. It's not the end of the world. So there we go. So I'll just take that back out. So that is the chain. So if you get a pattern and it says chain 40, then you will just be chaining 40. Just be careful though, if your hook comes out, not to twist your chain though, because if you look, the chain is different on both sides. So this is the front. If you flip it over, it's different because if you look, you've got these little spines down the middle, and that's the back of the chain. But yeah, so like I said, I'm going to pull that out. That's my slip knot, so I'm just slide that back on my slip knot. But yeah, so it's yarn over and pull through. So I always hold it there just to make it easier for me, a bit more secure. So this is how I always hold my yarn. So I said I wrap it around my middle finger, and the bit just before the hook, I wrap again around my middle finger. It's just how it naturally falls for me, and I find it the most comfortable. But yeah, so you wrap your yarn around your hook, pull that loop through the one on the hook, yarn over the hook, pull it through, yarn over the hook, pull it through, yarn over the hook. And then, eventually you will start speeding up. So don't worry if you're slow to begin with, or if you're slow forever for that matter. It doesn't matter. You crochet at your own pace. So, I can crochet a lot faster because I can crochet, or not, because it fell off the hook. I can crochet a lot faster because I've been crocheting for about 3 years now. But the thing is, as you can see, if you crochet too fast, if you haven't got the angle right, it can quite easily come off the hook. So I don't tend to do my chains too fast, also because I'm usually counting at the same time. Now you can get things to help you with the counting, because you can put like a stitch marker every 10 stitches. Because if you're chaining like 150, you won't want to have to go back and count 150, because some patterns may call for that. If you're doing a big blanket and you're starting off with a chain, you will need to be counting them. I hope this has been very useful for you to learn those 3 basic things. So it's the slip knot, the magic circle, and how to chain. I said it is worth constantly practicing those, because you might think the repetition is going to be useless, but if you keep practicing, it will come to you better and you will get used to it. As soon as that's in your head, it's a lot easier to move on to the next stage. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing some patterns in this series, which are going to be very basic, very easy beginner patterns. The idea is you'll be doing the same stitch, and the only other thing you'll really be doing is anything from this video. The slip knot might have the magic circle in it if you want to use it, and obviously the chain. It's just going to be the same stitch throughout the whole pattern. So the idea is you will be doing the same stitch, repeating it constantly so that you can get it into your head, because the more you do the stitch, the more it'll be easier for you to do the stitch, the more you get used to it, the neater they'll be. So hopefully you'll head over to those videos when they've been uploaded and they'll be helpful for you. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.